Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel, your home for NFL talk here on YouTube. My name is Mike. Guys, as promised, I'm coming at you with one more NFL mock draft here before the Combine next week. All right, and my plan is after the Combine to do multiple round mock drafts, so be sure to subscribe to be able to check those out as well. But, as we get into this mock draft, this video is for picks 1 through 10. I'll have another video for picks 11 through 20 and a third one for picks 21 through 32. We start off with pick number 1, which belongs to the Houston Texans, and I think they're going to take a quarterback. Right now, I still have them taking Teddy Bridgewater from Louisville. If you follow me on here, you know I've been pretty consistent with this, although throughout the past couple of weeks, I'm beginning to think that Blake Bortles has a better chance than maybe I originally thought of being that number 1 pick, but for now, I'm staying with Bridgewater. The Bill O'Brien, links to George O'Leary, Blake Bortles, college coach, can't be ignored. But for right now, I'm standing pat with Bridgewater. At pick number 2, I've changed this since my last mock draft. I have the Rams taking Jadeveon Clowney if they stick with this pick. I think he's going to be too hard to ignore as a prospect, number 1, especially after the Combine. Number 2, Jeff Fisher is not really known for taking tackles, offensive tackles, early in the draft. And a lot of people are projecting Greg Robinson or Jake Matthews in this spot. And, I'd also like to point out the fact that, they're going to get into some pretty hairy contract situations with both Robert Quinn and Chris Long in the next couple years here. So I don't think having a guy like Clowney, waiting in the wings is such a bad idea. Look, he could be a guy that gets 30 to 40 snaps a game in his first year and then takes off from there. And, again, he's a once-in-a-decade prospect to me. He's number 1 on my big board, which is the number 1 reason why I have Jadeveon Clowney number 2 to the Rams. At pick 3, the Jaguars. Look, I think the Jaguars are going to take a quarterback in this spot if Jadeveon Clowney is not available. And right now, I have them going with Blake Bortles from Central Florida. I think he's, the best quarterback prospect left at this point. He's a guy who, obviously played his college football in Florida. But, David Caldwell, to me, would like Bridgewater or Clowney. I think those are his first 2 guys he wants. Don't be surprised if he doesn't get them. Maybe he trades out if he doesn't like Bortles. But, I have Blake Bortles going there as of now. Pick 4 belongs to the Browns. Johnny Manziel has been the guy linked to the Browns from the start. I really like the fit. You get a young, exciting quarterback to go along with an aggressive defense that Mike Pettin will bring, and I think it's a good fit. Number 4, the Browns, Johnny Manziel, obviously the quarterback from Texas A&M. At pick 5, the Raiders. The Raiders, for a guy like Sammy Watkins to fall to them at pick 5, I think is a true steal. I have Watkins as the 3rd best player on my big board, the most explosive offensive player to me in this draft, far and away the best receiver in this draft. Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver from Clemson, to the Raiders at pick 5. Pick 6, the Falcons hold this pick, and the conventional wisdom is they'll either go with a difference maker on defense or an offensive tackle. I don't have them picking an offensive tackle because they've said multiple times Sam Baker will be playing left tackle again this year, and they owe him a ton of money. So rather than going with Robinson or Matthews in this spot, I have them taking Khalil Mack, the do-everything outside linebacker from Buffalo. He's a guy that can be a difference maker in the pass rush. He can also be a difference maker in pass protection, a true well-rounded all-around linebacker. And when's the last time the Falcons had a true playmaker on the defensive side of the ball to complement all the weapons they have on offense? Here's a chance for them to get one. Khalil Mack, the outside linebacker from Buffalo, at pick 6 to the Falcons. Pick 7 belongs to the Buccaneers, and I think very nicely one of their biggest needs gets filled here with Greg Robinson, the offensive tackle from Auburn. A lot of people don't have Robinson falling this far. I happen to, based on need and projection, obviously. And the Buccaneers get a gem here. Again, one of the steals of the first round. Greg Robinson, the offensive tackle from Auburn. At pick 8, I have the Vikings, and when you start evaluating this stuff, you have to say to yourself, do I think the Vikings are going to be the team to reach on a quarterback? Did they learn their lesson from when they reached for Christian Ponder, and look how he's turned out? I am going to err on the side of I think they're going to take a quarterback because they're moving into a new stadium. They know they need one, and I like here Derek Carr from Fresno State. I personally am not that high on Carr, but a lot of people are. All right, I think a lot of people will be swayed by his leadership ability and his performance at the Senior Bowl, which was top-notch. in the practices and so forth. Look for him to be overvalued here, all right? If I'm the Vikings, I don't take a quarterback, but I'm starting to lean to the fact that I think they will. Derek Carr, quarterback, Fresno State. Pick number 9 belongs to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills, of course, have several needs, okay? But to me, to get another tackle to go opposite Cordy Glenn would even fortify that running game, which is already good even more, which is very important, obviously, for the development of young E.J. Manuel. I have him taking Jake Matthews, the offensive tackle from Texas A&M. This is a guy who has a multitude of experience at the left and right tackle, okay, feels a need for the Bills, and can be a consistent guy that you can just plug into that starting lineup. Pick 10, last one for this video, guys, is the Lions. Look, you either have the Lions going wide receiver or cornerback. I have them going cornerback. To me, they haven't had much trouble scoring points throughout the years. To me, their problem has definitely been on the defensive side of the ball. And when you play in a division with Jay Cutler and Aaron Rodgers and all the weapons that come with them, to me, you need to stack up at the cornerback and secondary positions. Darqueze Dennard will be too good for them to pass up here. An in-your-face, a man corner. I have him rated ahead of Justin Gilbert. I have the whole time I've been doing these evaluations, guys. If you've been following, I've been pretty consistent with Dennard going number 10 to the Lions, and I'm not changing that. So, guys, that's picks 1 through 10 of my mock draft. Again, I'll be doing a video for picks 11 through 20 and 21 through 32, so be sure to check those out. And be sure to subscribe, guys, not only for my multiple round mock draft coming up here after the Combine, but also for all the NFL content I put out on here, guys. Always looking to hear your opinions in the comments and on Twitter as well. Thanks as always for listening. Have a great night.